Lost Word fans. Here I am recording at 11 p.m. EST. Reasons why? Because Glow is under maintenance and yeah. Alright, so we just got basically the Total Lost Orders freaking. It's basically just Total Lost Orders version of Nintendo E3, except if we're in a YouTube video and actually well done. And didn't disappoint people, but at the same time did disappoint people. And the reason why I say it probably disappointed people probably was mainly because of the fact that the Suika banner was basically just bait for the next banner, which I'm going to tell you currently. So moving this one out of the way, we have the medicine Malakani. I don't know how to say it. Medicine Monopoly Rada. So getting that out of the way, since she's a general unit, and you will know that. The second thing is one that even surprised me and kind of got the player base in a sense angry or upset, but I don't think they were that. I don't even think they were angry at all. I think they were just like upset rather. So the next character coming to Toho Lost Word Global is none other than Ultra Marissa. That's right, you heard me correctly. At first I was kind of scared to say it, but since it's already confirmed, I might as well just say it. Yes, you heard me correctly. Ultra Marissa is coming to game. Now ignore this JP footage, alright? I know I'm spoiling a lot for you guys for JP, but alright, we ignore this. We ignore this, okay? We just ignore it, alright? Just ignore this trash JP background gameplay. So yes, we are getting Ultra Marissa in the Japanese side of the game. Now you may be wondering, oh, Suika bait? Was Byakuren bait? Yes, you got baited. The entire team of Next Ninja and Good Smile Company is laughing at you. That was a joke, by the way. No, but seriously, they were legitimate bait. Honestly, even if you did get them and you're happy, good job. Friends of mine, they ended up getting Suika or Byakuren, and they still managed to save some crystals. Now, I believe the maximum, or the amount you need to spark for a Super Festival is about 1,750 or 1,250. I believe my friend said it was 1,250, so those of you who are at like 750 sealed crystals, you would probably need about like, doing the math here, that would be around like, about, oh my goodness, my brain just shut off. About like 500 is more, I want to say. That's like the closest I can come to. Probably 500 more sealed crystals. To be honest, if you can't make that much, then I genuinely feel bad for you, and you're probably going to end up having to swipe. Or if you're like me, you could probably end up just re-rolling. And you may be wondering, well, how are you going to get a Super Festival unit if they're, well, more of that limited, I want to say, more of they're like harder to get, when in reality they actually aren't, because obviously in one of my videos I most likely explain this. When a unit is featured on a specific banner, all other units rates are slightly decreased, but it's not impossible to not get that unit. That's general. And if we look at JP, considering the amount of characters there are within the general pool, which I'm going to show you by using the Yuka banner. Yes, Yuka's in JP, no surprise there. So if we look at the general unit rate, so this right here is Yuka. So on a guaranteed friend or two, that would be about like 10%. Exactly 10%. And then on just like a non-guaranteed pull, that would be 0.500% chance, which is actually pretty low. And then if you look at all other units' rates, we can say that they have significantly dropped. Now on global, it's 4%. However, for JP, it's 1.66. I'm not saying the other number, percent. Yes, and the chances of getting a 5-star is 10%. Obviously, you're probably able to get at least like a rainbow card if you're lucky enough. And surprisingly enough, even the card drop rates have significantly fell. The only thing that really has a good drop rate are 3-star story cards. And you all know you're pretty much guaranteed to see a 3-star story card within your pool. So like 5 stars have honestly the the lowest rate you could possibly think of. Yes, on a guaranteed pull, guaranteed friend ritual, you have a 10% chance to get that character. And technically in JP, if we did all of this math and we took all these rates, slapped them into the calculator, you probably would have gotten more general units than you could than the featured character. However, if we think about it logically here, obviously, since Global's pool isn't as big as Japanese sides, in which Japanese sides has all the way up to Kokoro, if you play the Japanese side, meaning that this is like maybe four to 6 times the amount that Global has. So if you had a guaranteed friend nurture, you were more likely to get the general unit than you would than the featured banner unit. And you may be wondering why that's the case. If Yuka's is 10% and all these other characters are such a lower percent than the featured character, then why would the general unit be more common than the featured character? Well, obviously, nobody's going to get the featured character, or they will, and it will cost them a lot because of the fact that even though their rate is higher, it's still drastically lower. You have a higher chance of getting a more common unit or one that appears more frequently often within a banner than you would than the actual featured unit. Now, unless you really spark the unit, I'd say that's probably one of the only ways you're going to get a character. I mean, if you look at Genshin Impact, look how many people pity like hitting 90 rolls so often. Now, there's obviously people who get lucky, lucky through a pull and they maybe get that specific character. Mind you, Genshin Impact is a terrible example because of their weird banner system. But the same sort of applies. Like, you basically have, okay, so taking into account that getting a 5-star is a 10% chance. And seeing as to people getting 5-star story cards and 5-star characters, but not the featured character, it's safe to assume that if we were to take the rate of a 3-star story card popping up, which would basically be a 99.9% chance, meaning it's basically impossible not to get a 3-star story card, I'm pretty sure it's safe to say that it's probably like maybe I don't want to make an exaggerated number up. I want to say it's more of like not even with the 10% area, more so lower. So your chances of getting said featured units, especially if it's a festival or limited festival or super festival character, meaning they are either A, very good, or B, within that tier or within a good tier, I'm pretty sure it's safe to assume that you have little to no chance at getting them without sparking. Now, nobody said you don't have to spark because there's still a chance. As long as it's not 0%, there's still a chance. But looking at a non-guaranteed unit poll, the chances of you getting the featured unit is incredibly low. And I should note that these rates are lower than the actual featured unit, but it's still harder to get the featured unit. So if you end up pulling on Ultra MARISA, go ahead. And honestly, if you look at the JP side, they do say that Ultra MARISA actually can't clear tower by herself, despite being a super festival unit. And that's not because she's not a super festival unit because she's so powerful. She's a super festival unit because she, 1, appears within the story, 2, she's the main incident, or connected to the main incident of that specific event that caused the lost word or whatever. And 3, there's no 3. It's because 1, she appeared in the story and she was significant to that specific chapter or bound to that specific chapter. And number 2, because she's basically the incident of the lost word. So yeah, she is our first super festival coming. We also have the medicine banner, and I believe we do have the part 2 login bonus of Airsoft. And then finally we are getting not only a free divine paper doll to paper doll Marissa or whatever superfast end up coming within the future, then you can limit break them at least once, but you'll also end up getting them from the Scarlet Devil Tower, which is set to come somewhere in July, I think. Finally, there's also the divine paper dolls that are coming to the shop, so they'll probably end up being featured in the shop. Lastly, I would like to say, well, more so I'd like to get this answered, or more so I'm gonna answer this myself. If you're wondering, well, why is Ultra Marissa so rushed, or why is she coming in compared to what the Japanese side had to deal with, it's probably because of the fact that it's reused assets, basically. Like, if we take any one of the super festivals or festival general units from JP, they will come maybe faster than global. I don't know if it's the fact that they're trying to keep up with JP, or if it's the fact that they're just, rushing the characters out because they have all the assets. But that's mostly like my theory of why Ultramarissa came so early. But yes, Suiko is bait. So, the only reason Ultramarissa came so early was because they had the assets, they wanted to do it, and, they were probably going to end up releasing a story chapter around this month. So, it's really no surprise that they're going to end up doing Ultramarissa. So that's pretty much it. What we gonna do with this video? I mean, this way too long, bro. But I'm done with this video, and I'm probably gonna end up doing polls for you guys for reasons I don't know why.